How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
I'm feeling scared. I've never done anything for a comedy show before. It could be like 10 times the crowd, but if it's at like a tech panel or whatever, it's cool because I don't have the pressure of being funny. But I feel like if I'm not like Kevin Hart, you guys are all gonna hate me. Is that good?
Yeah, I think this is good. We're gonna continue all of our geek talk. But I thought it was a little geeky and sexy. It's my vibe. Now we're gonna talk to like a legendary champion here. Like, no joke. Like, so Ilias Anwar, he's the founder of tappedai and TC Entertainment. He's the author of a book called Cheat Codes, which I highly recommend you look up, especially after this discussion. I want to really go, like, something that he's been really successful at is zero budget marketing strategies and a knack for building communities across multiple industries, bringing people together, and doing it, like I emphasize, on that $0 budget. And he launched, and his book, Cheat Codes, really kind of, gives you the cheat codes on how he makes that happen. I've personally attended several of his events. The dynamic of the people that are involved are just these ambitious, talented people across all walks of the city. And he even had like the second most sold out show here at New York Tech Week. Like I'd love like a round of applause for a moment, just for Ilias Anwar. So, like the first question I want to dig into is like, what motivated you to write cheat codes? You released the cheat codes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, I never planned on a book coming out. Essentially, I was doing like a lot of marketing work in like the music industry, and I figured a lot of like the friends that I had that were like artists and stuff, some of them couldn't afford like the marketing budgets that we would usually work with, because I was at a record label at the time or like working at like an agency. And so one of my friends was like, "Can you make like a PDF with everything that you have?" And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it started. It started off as a PDF. I never expected to sell it or turn it into a book. And I don't want you guys to think it's a massive book. It's not. It only sold like 500 copies. Obviously, that's something to still be proud of, but I wanted to do it independent first. Similar to like in music, what they always tell you, and in comedy or in tech or anything that you have any ownership in, they always tell you like do it independent first, and then you can build the leverage when you go to somebody with money. And so the book is something that obviously is doing really well on its own. I'm selling directly to people. And at the end of the year, we're going to go with distribution and more manufacturing, get inside like physical stores. But right now, I just wanted to show proof of concept. And the main reason why I made it is just because I had a lot of friends who are artists, performers, and they needed help with marketing.
Something that someone had told me, which I like really resonated with what you're saying about like releasing a book, is that releasing an artifact of like your story and your message consistently is the best way to build thought leadership, the best way to really get your message out there and connect with people. And it's something like I actually personally regret. And I was so excited when I saw like about 3 people like show me your book. I like walk over to me, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is like the best thing."
I didn't even know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, like I know I surprised you. But like I was like, "Can I have it?" They're like, "No, I'm not sharing it with you."
I'll give you a copy after this event. I'll come find you.
I already bought one. Okay. I went on Amazon. Let's tell everybody about tappedai and TTC Entertainment.
Yeah, as far as tappedai goes, it's a tech startup, and as I was telling you guys, I hope I don't make any fall back here.
Oh,
We're good.
You're good.
tappedai is essentially a tech startup that allows performers to be able to create a world tour through their iPhone. And I know that sounds crazy. I'm not saying that every single artist is going to be like Taylor Swift. I'm not selling them a dream, but it's very realistic for an artist to be able to, have a show at a 200-person capacity venue and then do that in multiple different cities. And everybody here is tech related, right? It's Tech Week. I assume everybody knows how valuable data in tech is. The issue in the music industry is, especially with some of these artists, they're dropping songs, but they have no idea who's listening to their music until they get signed to a record label deal and they give up 90% as ownership of their music. And so what we're trying to do is essentially, as a live music data analytics company, help educate performers to be able to use data in a more efficient way so that they can be able to make better decisions when they are in that same position.
I love what you've like started building and like set out with tappedai, because I was chief technology and product officer at TuneCore, and there's a lot of data sources out there that are focused entirely on digital streaming. But like live is something that like you actually, like tappedai leverages all that digital streaming data and gives it to artists so that they can adapt it to kind of the way that they actually do connect with fans and make money. Where should they tour? Who should they be targeting? How can they grow? You really kind of package that up and like apply it to a map for them to plan their world tour.
Yeah, the reason why we do a map is because at the end of the day, it's like how you're serving the platter to these artists, right? You can't put 500 data reports and all this work for them to be able to analyze it. It just doesn't make sense. And it's been working out pretty well for us. We've been bootstrapping the whole way. We did get angel investments, and tonight actually we're finally closing some real checks. So shout out to Tommy. Thank God, I hate fun. We're not doing official fundraising, but it feels good to finally get something. God damn.
How many people are fundraising right now? You have this company you're fundraising? Yeah, I see some hands. Woo! Keep going, keep going. There's money out there. There's money out there. Find the right people. And TCC Entertainment. You had you reached over 90 million annual views. Like, how did you do that? Like,
I feel like 90 million sounds big in the grand scheme of things. I'm not trying to get on this panel and just like belittle myself the whole time. I'm trying to show people that anybody can do this. It's just like the proper strategy or the steps that you're taking to be able to do these types of things. In terms of like, to get 90 million, right? First you need to break it down monthly. So what is 90 million for 12 months, right? So if you're able to hit at least around like 8 to 10 million and you build a catalog of content, it's not hard to do, because that doesn't mean that every single piece of content is hitting 5 million views. If you post like 500 times a month and all those are getting around 20 to 30,000, 40,000 views, and then one of them pops off, that's what you're able to use to leverage. And a lot of people, I don't know if anybody here wants to get into content creation or to be able to build like a creative agency or media company.
many?
But one quick way to like obviously get a lot of engagement is to post stuff that's already viral or stuff that's already big, right? And so one thing that we were doing with our media company to get those numbers up, we were posting stuff that was already going viral. Or another way on social media to be able to grow your numbers is to be able to post about news. If you're posting about something in a very niche community and you're one of the first to break that story, people are going to follow. They want to be informed, especially in this age where you can pretty much find any piece of information within like 10 minutes, as soon as it like breaks. And so I would say, if you are looking to build a media company like how we did, we basically focused on news and then obviously posting a lot, and then the biggest thing is building a catalog. Whether you're a blogger, whether you're a tech startup and you want to funnel more people to download your app, or you want more people to see it, it's free to upload on TikTok, build a catalog, and then over time more people will see that stuff.
How do you find what's new and popular as a trend to catch up on?
They say steal like an artist, right? So, just look at what other people are doing within your niche. The first thing they say is do market research, right? So that still applies when you're doing social media work. If you are, who here has a tech company? Or there was somebody in here who's working on a tech startup? I know you're probably not going to want to raise your hand now. Who is it? Come on. I'm not going to make fun of you. This is not the comedy bit. This is the education.
This is the education key part. Yeah.
So what's the name of your tech startup?
Glossbird.
Glossbird? Okay, so if anybody here wants to support her, you guys can follow her. I assume it's Glossbird on Instagram, right? So what does your startup do?
We are a game studio that makes exercise mobile games.
Okay, beautiful. And how would you compare yourself to like other companies? Like, what are the top 3 companies that are doing that right now on social media?
Pokemon Go.
Okay.
Not exercise, but Duolingo.
Duolingo, okay.
And then like Nike Run Club.
There you go. Now take those 3, study their last 30 posts, and see what worked best for them. Because they already have the proof of concept. If their top 3 posts happen to be, let's say, a TikTok trend, well then just take that and then look at those other 2 companies as well, and then be able to implement your own strategy.
Awesome, man. Like, this gold here. Like, how do you, so you're known for this zero marketing, like, budget strategies. Like, that's, like, cray. How do you, like, prioritize and allocate resources on that type of budget? Like, is it just, like, every single day going nuts?
So I feel like I'm supposed to give, like, some crazy answer, but I come from immigrant parents, and immigrant parents are cheap as hell. If any of y'all have immigrant parents, you definitely know that. So you gotta get crafty as shit. And for me, like, I've just been able to learn that, and I've noticed that especially with like guerrilla marketing as well. It's been able to help with like the zero cost strategy. Like if you're going out there and you're talking to people, and you also touched on the point of like telling people your story. It's not just about posting a piece of content. When you are posting that piece of content, what story are you telling? Are you just posting, you know, my friend, he's an artist, and he's like burning so much money on Facebook ads to get his stuff out there. And the first thing he does is like, he'll post like a mirror selfie, and then like his music in the background. I'm like, bro, what story are you telling? How are you connecting with these people? You could spend $1,000 on Facebook ads.
Is he shirtless?
No, he's not. He's got glasses in the bathroom, and, you know, he's just posted up. But, you know, that's the first thing I told him. I was like, how are you, you know, connecting with people? Get vulnerable. Find an emotion that you want to be able to invoke into people when you are telling that story. And so I think, you know, that's one of the major things.
Yeah, authenticity is really key. Like what future trends, so kind of like, what future trends do you foresee at this like intersection of like music, technology, and digital marketing?
Repeat that question again, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. What trends do you see happening when it comes to the like music, technology, and digital marketing over the next 5 years?
Oh, okay. We actually had an event last night, and Meg was able to come on the panel. And I love and hate him so much at the same time because in the music industry, everybody is talking about symphony. When we first started Tap, from every single room that we would get into, they'd be like, have you heard symphony? And he's great at the, what's it called, like $0 marketing strategy because he comes from immigrant parents too. He's going out there and he's just guerrilla marketing. He's showing up to events. He's going to the studio with the artists. And most importantly, they're obviously building a good product.
Can you share what Symphony OS is for the group here?
So this might not be super relevant for everybody in the room because it's specifically for performers or like musicians in general. But if you have a musician friend, this is a great resource. Basically, you go on their platform, they handle all your advertising needs and all your marketing needs in less than 2 buttons. And it's as simple as that. There's just a dashboard, you go on it, you want to run a Facebook ad to promote your next song, you press one button and they do that for you. Symphony OS. I do not get paid, I'm not affiliated with them, I just always hear their damn name all the time.
Same, and I finally met him at your event last night. And like, so that leads me to like sort of the community building side of what you do. Like you're, like I've heard this name of this person and then I go to your events and I bump into them. How do you transition digital marketing and like promoting your company to that community building side of bringing people IRL?
I would say maybe shamelessly promote. You know, when you're out, you know, sometimes people don't want to talk about something that they're working on or they think that they're going to get judged for it. I mean, people shit on my ideas all the time. That's just a part of the game. I would say, you know, if you go to, obviously you got to be appropriate with the situations as well. Like, you can't be at a funeral like promoting your business, like that's just inappropriate, you know what I mean? But like, if you go into like a tech event,
QR code, tank top.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's tech week and you're at a tech event, feel free to tell people to also pull up to your tech event. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, and I think that's the piece of advice I would give. Also, I feel like there needs to be a joke told or something. This air is a little too serious right now. You got anything in you?
This is, I mean, we're going to get to some, we're going to close out and like go to some astrology shortly, so stay tuned for that. I guess like the last question I wanted to share was just like kind of what, well, you actually gave some advice already, but what key lessons have you learned from like really kind of hustling, building these companies, like writing a book, talking to people, like what key lessons would you share for other entrepreneurs or professionals that want to like promote something that they're doing? So advice regarding self-promotion and lessons learned.
I would say obviously being shameless, A. B, also being able to build with other people around you. Like the reason why the panel was so successful was because there was a shit ton of people on it that can also bring their own crowd. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own, right? Like you brought your people, Meg brought his people, everybody's bringing their own mini community and then you just combine them in together. And not only is it like collaboration, but just like being able to be okay with other people working on your work for you, right? Because it's so hard when you're building a startup and then other people have to make decisions for your company as well, and you can't always oversee those. So I would say those are the 3.
Thank you very much. Oh, we can take one question. Yes.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, we hear you.
I was wondering, how do you navigate being authentic as an artist and like promoting yourself, being shameless and stuff, and like surfing on those trends and where you draw the line because it's hard.
Yeah, you don't want to be unauthentic when you're promoting yourself.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I'm saying.
also like there's the trends and stuff. Sometimes you can flow on one, it's like authentic and it goes, and then how do you stop yourself from like, oh, this worked and we need visibility, so we keep going on.
Oh, I get what you're
Like,
saying, yes.
You draw the line between authenticity and like
Just doing TikTok trends to do the trends, like this is a big issue in the music industry, yeah, so, I mean, artists are always battling with their labels and management because they're like getting down and they're like, do a TikTok dance, and he's like, dude, I make like this type of music, I can't just be dancing on TikTok. And so I think one thing that I've seen with some artists, if you guys are familiar with like Brent Fayez or like Playboy Cardi or like The Weeknd, those are more like mysterious artists that are not going on TikTok and doing dances, right? But one thing they usually do is they have like a fan page or an archive page where they can post like other types of content. So it's not on their main page, so it's not like an album release and then them doing a TikTok dance. All their promotional content is on a completely other medium. So that way the fans know to go there to be able to get that content. Now the equivalent in that in tech, can you make a fan page for a startup?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just saying.
Like and we're gonna go into that from the like tech startup perspective, like which is what we're talking about now, and we have an artist startup that we're going to interview next. So and we'll dive into that more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm a little funny. But hey, if you'd like to connect or if there's anything that I could do to help anybody here, my Instagram is ILIAS, and then my last name is ANWAR, and that's on LinkedIn as well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So now we're going in